Today's video is about something you can do, a simple change you can make, which if you do this thing, and not everybody will, I'll tell you that right now, if you do make this change, you can absolutely transform how you feel each day about the level of power and control you have over your hair pulling. Curious to know what that is? Stay tuned. Okay, so we're here today because I want to shed light on one simple thing you can do, which if you do it, will in all likelihood make a huge difference for you in terms of how often you feel the need or even the desire to pull. Wouldn't that be nice? So let's start with the idea that our behavioral patterns, the habitual, sometimes predictable ways we live each day of our lives, the daily patterns we repeat all the time, they are actually part and parcel of your hair pulling problem. And that's because these times and places where you tend to pull, which are probably predictable, right? These times and places and situations provide a context in which the pulling tends to happen. And now, here's the interesting thing. Since your challenges with hair pulling show up in the context of repeated daily patterns, to the extent you change those patterns, to the extent you change how you live your life each day, that should make it easier to refrain from hair pulling. And by the way, the more you change your day-to-day routine, the easier it will be to stay away from hair pulling. Now, in case you think I'm oversimplifying things, let's just take a very common example of exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. And if you're like most of our clients, you could probably totally relate to this. So a lot of our clients, interestingly, when they go on vacation, when they just totally get out of Dodge, they tend to stop pulling. And not only do they stop pulling, but even the urge to pull somehow it just doesn't seem to happen anymore. It happened all the time when they were at home, engaged in their normal day-to-day routine, but now they're just not bothered with it at all. They're not pulling, and the great thing is they're not even struggling to not pull. Kind of sounds like what a lot of people would think of as the holy grail of trichotillomania relief, right? No pulling and no urges, no pulling and no struggle not to pull. Now, if you ask these clients what they think is going on here, like, why, when you're on vacation, why do you suppose this isn't a problem? They usually have no idea why that is. And that actually makes total sense, since whatever creates those urges to pull in the first place are totally unconscious, right? I mean, how would they have any conscious idea what's really happening there? Now, you will have some others who perhaps with some insight may say something like, well, when I'm on vacation, I just don't have the stress I normally have at home. And of course, there's absolutely something to that, right? Most of us, even our clients, realize that hair pulling tends to be a stress coping mechanism. That doesn't mean everyone who pulls their hair only pulls when they're stressed. In fact, almost paradoxically, people can find themselves just as tempted to pull in situations where there is no discernible stress, like when they're watching TV or reading a book or relaxing in bed or talking to a friend or a family member on the phone. Remember when I asked you, or words to this effect, hair pulling tends to show up at predictable times and in predictable places? That's because hair pulling activity is a part of your daily routine. And when you change your daily routine, just like when you go on vacation, because you've changed the context in which any pulling might occur, of course, pulling doesn't occur. In fact, strangely enough, it doesn't seem to come up as an issue for you there, does it? That's because all the other puzzle pieces around it that under normal circumstances serve to contextualize that pulling aren't there. All the ingredients to the recipe that normally codes for or results in hair pulling when you're at home, for example, aren't there. Instead, everything around it and you is totally different. Does this make sense? Now, of course, since we know you can't be on vacation all the time, let's assume that's the case. Since you can't be on vacation all the time, what can we do to start changing things up for ourselves? What if there was something simple, quick, and disarmingly obvious? What if there was something you could do that if you do, it will almost certainly cause us to feel a greater sense of power, choice, and control? And what if I told you this one simple thing, if you do it? What if I promised you this one simple thing will likely improve things, not only in the area of hair pulling, but in virtually every area of your life? Would you do it? Are you sure? It is simple if you'll do it. And in fact, it's so simple, you're probably going to get mad at me and want to tell you what it is because you're going to say, well, I knew that. Yeah, you know, on some level, you probably do know what I'm going to say to you and that it does make sense. But see, the difference is not just in what you know, but in what you do. All right, so you ready for this? Then stay tuned because I'm going to tell you what it is next. So, have you guessed what it is? This one simple change to this one simple thing each of us does every single day. It's called sleep. Yeah, you know, like I said, disarmingly simple, right? I don't have to fish around for examples of the power of sleep, though. I can just go straight to you, right? Take a moment to think about how you feel when you know you're sleep deprived. For most working people, and certainly many students, this is a condition you're quite familiar with. You know, your head is heavy, your thinking is more cloudy, it's harder to focus and concentrate. You're in the middle of a sentence and you have to stop because you forgot where you were going with that. And in general, you're far from your best or your most resourceful. And you can feel that you're not at your best or your most resourceful. Now, in situations like that, how do you tend to handle problems? How do you handle, for example, stressful situations? Wouldn't you say, if you're like most people, you know, on days like that, you're probably more prone to hair pulling than other days. But now, think about a day when you actually got a lot of sleep and you actually felt great that day. You're energetic, you feel sharp, you're thinking clearly. And then if something doesn't go just right, wouldn't you say it just doesn't affect you the same way? You tend to stay more calm, cool, and collected because physiologically you already feel better. Think about this for a second. When do people tend to want to pull their hair? Well, I guarantee you it's not when they're feeling great. Usually it's when they're feeling bad or when they're uncomfortable. And at times like that, trust me, they're not pulling your hair because they like yanking hair out of their body. In fact, hair pullers hate pulling hair out of their body. You know it and I know it. But to do it because in those moments you feel you need some way to feel better when you're feeling stressed, pressured, overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, angry, humiliated. Or maybe you're just feeling bored or tired and you're mired in some kind of tedious work and you just need a break. Bottom line is, if you're already overall feeling better and more resourceful that day because you got more sleep, notice you don't need what hair pulling would do for you quite as much, do you? That's why at times like that, when you're feeling more physically, emotionally, or psychologically sharper and more resourceful, you just don't find yourself nearly as tempted to pull your hair. In fact, you might not think about it at all. And after all, isn't that exactly really what you want? To be able to go through your day and not pull and not have to struggle not to pull. Now, of course, I'm not saying that getting a lot of sleep is the entire answer and that if you just get enough sleep, all your problems with hair pulling are going to magically disappear. I never said that. What I am saying, though, is that if you want to stack the deck in your favor with something that could not be more simple, more straightforward, or more natural, seeing to it that you get more sleep is really a pretty straightforward solution. It can go a long way toward helping you overall feel better, more energetic, more powerful, more in control of your life, all the while enjoying a lot less pulling. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and smash that like button and please do subscribe to our channel. We'd love to be able to notify you when we have new content, more helpful videos coming your way. And you know what? Go ahead and hit that reply button below and leave us a comment. Talk to us. How did this video impact you? If you're watching this video at our Facebook community page, please leave a comment there. We'd love to meet and chat with you. In fact, if you have questions about hair pulling or trichotillomania and you're just not quite sure where to go for answers, please visit our website at www.trick-free.com. You'll see a Contact Us link at the upper right of all of our web pages. We do actually look through all the questions that come into us very carefully, just like we do to all the comments and questions that show up here at our YouTube channel. And we do our best to answer as many of those in these very videos as possible. Again, please do be sure to like and subscribe. We're here to entertain, inform, and most importantly, to empower you to begin taking control of your hair pulling in ways you probably never thought possible before. If you'd like to reach out to us directly to get some information about how we can help you or a loved one, feel free to visit our website at www.trick-free.com or to call us at any time of day or night toll-free at 833-TRICK-FREE. Love how that rhymes. Thanks again for watching. I'm Robert Mantell with the Trichotillomania Relief Specialist. Here's wishing you an amazing trick-free week.